live. See when I get a notification on my phone that it's live. Think it's live? Think we're
Now,
live.
yeah,
Okay.
we are.
Hello and welcome to That Beautiful Life podcast. This is episode 245 of That Beautiful Life podcast. My name is Kidus Campbell, sitting here in the beautiful Red and United Kingdom. My hair is super dry. Talking to the beautiful Roger Bergstrom all the way in Stockholm, Sweden. Rog, how are you doing?
My hair is also super dry. The little one I have left, actually, the silver fox is here again.
Welcome,
Uh,
Nalu. Mm,
Hi, Nalo. Yo, what's up? Over there. Yeah. No, it's pretty good
mhm,
actually. I think it's been a good week.
mm,
It's quite slippery outdoors, though. I mean, last time we talked a week ago, we had some good snow. It's actually
mhm.
been very winterish and everything. I'm happy about it.
Yeah,
But then the temperature started to go up, meaning getting warmer.
we got slushy.
And it also came, there was like some rain a few days ago
Mhm.
during the night. So it starts to melt away. And also, now it became a bit colder again. So now you got to be careful when you're walking out here because it's easy to just,
Mhm.
find yourself sitting on the butt on the ice. So careful,
It's
careful.
quite
What about
slushy here.
how's the weather in Reading right now?
We don't have any more snow. Like everything's gone.
Oh, oh,
It's
okay.
um,
Yeah.
it's just really it's still chilly, quite chilly.
Uh-huh.
Um, I'm seeing a lot more mold starting to form on the walls and stuff like that. So that's a lot to kind of like keep a handle on that because the
Yeah, yeah,
weather being
right.
cold. My bedroom is the chilliest in the house, which usually is. And everyone comes in there like, "Oh my God, it's freezing in here. How are you like?" And I'm in there just chilling in bed or sitting in my room, and I'm just like, "Yeah, what's up? How you guys doing?" So,
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, that reminds me also a bit about the different like temperatures people do have
mhm,
indoors. Especially, for example, when me and Isaac was out visiting my mom before, like when was that? Was it October? Yeah, anyhow, I mean, she's older and older people usually have a bit warmer, like
yeah.
indoors. I don't know, their apartments, everything, and that was not an exception. And but also now at Christmas time when we went down, celebrating Christmas with my wife's parents,
Mhm,
same there. It's quite warm. You like,
yeah.
I like now I have it because we don't have that warm. I probably you felt that too when
Yeah.
when you were you here? Okay,
Wh-
okay, it was still like summer, fall. But anyhow, during the winter, we don't push up the temperature. It's
mhm.
also one thing that you want to like save the what's how it's going to look on your bill later on
Energy.
if
Yeah.
you yeah
Mhm.
exactly. That's one thing, but we kind of like that. Annalie even a bit more than me.
Mhm.
So our bedroom is quite chill, I would say.
What
It's
would you
like
say is peak temperature in your house then? Like, what is everyone accustomed to?
I would say it's a bit different between rooms, but I would say we seldom go like the bedroom. What can it be? 18,
18,
17, 18 maybe.
17, 18. That's usually what my room is kind of like. I think my room is
Yeah,
around 17,
you
18.
see.
But everyone else in the house thinks it's quite cold.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, a lot of people
you know,
think that. Maybe it's like kitchen and everything, like upstairs, maybe 19, even 20 sometimes, but 19 maybe.
'cause
18,
I
19,
remember
19.
the first time I visited you, it was around winter time.
Exactly.
And I
That was
remember
true,
it
true,
being
true.
quite cold.
Yeah.
I remember I came in, I was just like, I remember thinking to myself, wow, your duvets are not as thick as mine. And I think that night, I think I used my coat to cover my legs because I wasn't accustomed to it. But then I think after a bit, I kind of got like I was just like it became. And it's the weirdest thing about the human body, you just adapt. Like I think during
Yeah,
the night, I just my
yeah.
body was just like, well, this is normal. This is fine. So,
The new normal. No, but that is true.
mhm,
Usually that is the case. I think I felt that also when I had been like 2 days up at mom's place.
mhm.
I started to adapt to the warmer indoor temperature a bit at least. So yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing.
Yeah.
I see talking about the weather and everything and all. I
Mhm,
see that you might be getting some snow over there next week in Texas.
mhm.
Well, that sounds interesting. Is it a bit rare nowadays, or
I
how
think it.
how often do you guys get snow in Texas?
I
I mean,
don't.
I've been in, but yeah,
I've not
yeah.
heard much about Texas and snow, but Who knows?
No,
Um,
me neither. Usually it can be very warm, that I know, but yeah. Mm.
With regards to what Nalu mentioned about something in the anime chat, I have not
Mm-hmm.
checked the anime chat in a minute.
Okay.
So
Mm.
I'm not sure what you're referring to, Nalu, but you can always DM me and let me know what it is. Is it the bleach thing or is it the other thing above it? I don't know. That being said, Raj,
Yes.
how was your week?
Whoa, my week, brother. It was good. It's been a good week.
Mhm,
Back into the rhythm, so to say.
mhm,
Being productive, doing
mhm,
what I put up, so to say, on my to do list or schedule
mhm,
wise, if you will. Finding that rhythm again. It's been nice. It's been good actually. So I have to say it's been a good week.
mhm,
Also been been working out well and had a good rehearsal with the band on Sunday,
mhm,
the first one after New Year, and we had a bit of a break over the holiday season, and we added one more cover actually to our list. We like to play our own music, like original music. That is the most fun. I'm gonna be straight honest.
mhm,
But there's a lot of good music out there, and due to the fact that we do play or make music that has probably quite some roots back in the old melodic like heavy rock from like the 70s and 80s. So
mhm.
then we choose to play Burn by Deep Purple.
Oh wow.
And Burn by Deep Purple, if you haven't heard it, well, you can check it out. It's an interesting song, especially for me as a drummer, because Ian Pace, the gentleman, the drummer in Deep Purple, he's a great drummer, by the way. He told an interesting story about the song Burn, because
Mhm,
the band was between the borders of England and Wales, I think,
mhm,
and they might have been doing like starting to record, or they were rehearsing, I'm not sure, but he said that the guys were like going over and over parts in that song. It was newly created, they hadn't like finished anything, and Ian tried to find like, how am I going to play here, like how's the drums going to be, and he went on for like 20 minutes. He got bored, he got, oh my, like bored. So he started to play like almost like a drum solo on the verses and everything. And all
mhm.
the rest in the band of Deep Purple were like, yeah, yeah, that's exactly how we want it. Keep it
That's the
like
song.
that. So that's how it became. It is so. I what I did the days before Sunday is that I started to practice again, like for many reasons. As I told you, I still oh, you love that song, Nally. Then you have really good taste. I knew it. I knew it. Yeah, Deep Purple is just amazing.
Mhm,
I still get I know most like of their songs,
mhm,
if you will, but even so, once in a while I come across a version or a song actually
mhm,
that I have somewhat missed, and I'm like, wow, in awe. Still, it's like, oh, it's so good,
mhm,
so great musicians and everything. But anywho, yeah. So I start to practice, both because I still have my problems back and forth with my like left arm or shoulder, so I need to do that to
mhm,
be like preventive against that kind of condition,
mhm,
but also to get the speed up again when you have been taking a bit time off and everything. But it was fun. Looking forward to it. We're gonna practice on this upcoming Sunday as well. So it's gonna be great. Yeah. Oh, you love classic rock. That's really nice to hear. Then you would most likely like enjoy listening to Capital 59, the band where I'm playing, because that's the style of the music that we're playing.
mhm.
I hope we can get our fingers out of our wherever we put them in order to actually record something. We've been talking about that so many times. But anywho, yeah, so that was a good week. Good everything with family, I guess.
Mhm.
Adam learned the hard lesson when he got his payout, his wages when it comes to wait, where are we now? Yeah, at the end of December, before the new year, because he had all this overtime due to the
Mhm.
work that they've been doing regarding the gaming studio and the
Mhm.
trip to Vienna and blah blah blah. He earned really well, I can tell you that. But
Mhm.
we have very high taxes here in Sweden,
I was
so
just thinking about the taxes.
yep. So he was like, "Oh crap." I was like, yeah, I mean, it's not that he doesn't know, but
Mhm.
especially now when he even reached a higher sum,
Mhm.
then I think he was even a bit more surprised. That's when I said this. I wrote back to him on Discord. Yeah, bro. No, I didn't say bro. He's my son. Yeah, that's weird. Son? No, I didn't write that. I just well, Adam. Maybe we should just move to Malta. You know, and it's like yeah, I'm gonna bring the whole gaming studio. Like you know,
Yep.
yeah,
Take
we're
everything more.
going
But
nowhere.
I think another way as well, like for one thing, I think that Adam could do as well. I've seen I have family who've done similar things is with their earnings. If they register a business of their own, they make a
Yeah.
business of their own, and they invest in assets into that business, then usually with how taxes work, you can eliminate some of the taxes through that way. Cause
Yes.
that
Yes.
so that way, I mean, you still pay taxes, which is good to pay
Yes.
taxes because it helps out with regards to the rest of the, what the country needs and so forth. But at the same
Exactly.
time, when it's a large amount, it's really daunting. It's
Yeah.
just like, oh
Yeah,
my
you
God,
feel it. You feel, but you're right. If you have your own company and you have registered that, I think
yeah,
here in Sweden, because I've started to thinking about that. If I get like a bigger spin, so to say, on my music production, if that starts to go even better,
hmm,
then I might actually invest the 25,000 Swedish kronas to start up like my company, because then exactly,
hmm,
then I am not as a private person
hmm,
responsible for that. It's the company,
hmm,
and you can make certain like yeah, you know, oh, how do you explain that in English? But you know, due to receipts and everything, if you
hmm.
buy gear and stuff like that, you
Exactly.
can, you know, all that stuff. So that's definitely true. When it comes to the tax here, Nalu, well, we don't really go that high, but I was. It depends on what it is and what like most of the time it's 25 or like 30%.
Hmm,
Sometimes a bit higher, but usually around 30, I would say.
hmm,
25, 30, that's what it is.
hmm.
Uh, but the thing is that, as you said, I mean, I know Q, you are used to the more or less the same social kind of
Yeah.
tax system and everything that comes with it, also from you growing up in Trinidad and Tobago,
Hmm.
and UK is a bit similar, right?
Yeah, it
So
is. It is a bit
the
similar.
good thing, and I have to say, and especially the year that I have behind me, when I got into this circus regarding like healthcare and everything,
Hmm.
I mean, I have to say that it is worth it in many ways, because if something goes wrong and you do get ill, you
Yeah.
do get really good healthcare.
Hmm.
I mean, as I told you, when I reached a certain sum, due to all the visits with certain doctors and specialists,
Hmm.
then regarding this injury,
Hmm.
then I only had to pay like how much is that? 25 quid
Yeah.
each time I went to a doctor, and then yeah, all well, actually all the time,
Hmm.
only 25 quid, and then when I reached 1,400 Swedish kronas, like
Hmm.
you know, altogether, and
Hmm.
I did that after like 4 months,
Hmm.
then I have free healthcare for
Hmm.
1 year. Doesn't matter what happens. I can go to the doctor like every week if I want to. I feel a bit ill,
Oh, you
you
know
know.
what? Oh, I think this hand isn't working. I think you
Exactly.
just give me
No,
a
but
whole
it's
new
true,
hand.
and I have to say, yeah. But I have to say, I understand. I know now, for example, I mean, get well, not guess wise, but a
Mhm.
bit of a clue how it works in the U.S.
Yeah.
And everything has its pros and cons. Of course, I wish we had a bit lower taxes.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. I think
always
everyone.
a discussion about that in Sweden also. But at the same time, well, it kind of works.
It,
You're
I,
working on a short story. Oh, okay.
I
Hey,
think.
Miss A&R. Yeah, sorry. You can that stuff. Yeah, instead of paying yourself wages, you can use that money towards buying things that you will use in real today life. Exactly,
Yeah.
things like
Yeah.
that.
I think the thing is that it is always important, like you just mentioned, Rod, to pay into your taxes because of the fact that if you live in a country where you do have social services, it is in your best interest to do so because it does pay for itself. Um,
Mm,
And because like I remember last year when Alex had to go to the US to help out her grandmother and so forth. I remember her having a lot of paperwork to do with regards to like insurance and this and that and so forth, and her telling me like how complicated it was. And here in the UK, you get sick and you just go to the GP or you go to the doctor and it's done. Like you don't have to think about it. There's no thought process and I need to fill out these forms and I need to try to get this
yes,
exemption and that thing and this insurance and that insurance. Here, you
exactly.
don't have to think about it. It's just I'm
No,
sick, I go to the doctor. I don't have to worry about it. And
yes.
for me, I've only probably been to the doctor here once, for something
Mm,
serious, which was I got into a bike accident,
Yeah,
And
right. That I remember. Hmm.
but I've had to go to the doctor multiple times for like Thai.
Yeah,
I've been with my sister, and every time it has been pretty good. I've been with Alex before. Most recently, Alex and I we were at the hospital. We had an overnight visit there just to check on a few things, and not having to think about, oh, are we going to have a huge bill on our doorstep the next morning,
exactly,
is good.
exactly,
And similarly, like if you were to lose your job or whatever have you, like to know that you have these safety nets to help keep you and your family alive, to help keep that
exactly.
stability to a certain extent, it's good. It's quite
Yeah,
comforting, I would say, and I think that's where,
it's a life quality thing
yeah.
because it kind of, as I say, it does. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Also,
Mhm.
I think also that like here we have this. Even if you live like outside the big city, there's like a small vårdcentral. It's called where you have like local doctors. You have emergency. If there's any emergency, if
Mhm.
it's something bigger, well, of course, then you will be driven or taken with an ambulance to the bigger hospital, obviously.
Mhm.
But that's where you go if you have the cough or something like that, or if your child is ill or whatever, the ear is aching, something like that.
Mhm.
But you can also call. There's a number you can always call. It's cost free. You
Yeah.
can have a consultation,
Mhm.
and then the rest might follow if that's needed. I
Yeah.
also just kind of reply to. I saw, yeah, I'm saying, Denmark has 40 taxation, 50 for high earners. It
Wow.
is actually quite similar regarding that
Mhm.
because I got to be a bit more precise.
Mhm.
Sweden and Nordic countries are quite the same. This is the
Mhm.
thing. The normal, like here in Sweden, no, not normal. That's the average. There
Mhm.
we go. The average tax in Sweden, and I was close. I said 33, or what did I say? 32.41%.
Mhm. It's not bad.
But that's, yeah, no. But then if you are making more money than that a year, I
Mhm.
think Adam does that now. If you earn more than 504K,
Mhm.
like 504,000, then you get a margin tax on at around 50%.
Mhm.
And those that are going even higher than that, like 700,000 Swedish kronas,
Mhm.
they will get like 55%. So
Wow.
that's how it's worked. So it is, and if you, for example, let's say then you have an income that is even lower than like the usual, well, getting the usual 32.41, then you can actually get some kind of, how do you say, yeah, even lower tax.
Mhm.
So you don't get like totally destroyed. So they have thought of that, of course. It follows a kind of how do you say, related to your income.
Mhm.
But that's more so in many ways you're right there, Alex, when you're writing what you're doing.
Mhm.
So yeah,
I
I
think I think
guess
I think
that's
that's
just
good.
of it.
I think it's good. I think the more you earn, the more you can pay, because it shouldn't
Yes,
hurt you as much, because of the fact that the
exactly.
percentages, yes, it's a higher percentage, but what you have is a larger sum to take from,
Yeah,
essentially. And it helps other country, it helps everyone,
right.
in total. I think
Yeah,
it's
it's
really,
a welfare thing. It's
yeah.
it's a it's an investment for not only the year that you're in, but for
Mhm.
the future to come. And I mean, since I've been growing up with this and seeing how it works, and
Yeah.
fortunately, I haven't had to use it that much, but I've had two major things in my life. That was around 2000 when I got
Mhm.
problems with my stomach and my intestinals. Like I was ill for 2 years. That's another story.
Mhm.
But also now, like the last year, due to my injury from March and onwards, then I'm happy to see that even though the first visit with the doctors was a bit slow, and until you actually get to the specialists where you
Mhm.
need to be, if that
Yeah.
makes sense, regarding your specific problem, then it works. It works really well. And I was also lucky not having to wait too long
Mhm.
for those like meetings, if that makes sense. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm happy. I can't complain.
Yeah.
It's I know that there are always discussions, and I know that the healthcare in Sweden has been even better, if you will, because there's also a big strain, especially, well, that was for all countries during COVID and everything. But it kind of showed once again that we have lost a bit of the capacity, like
Mhm.
uh, yeah, I think they said like there's like 500 beds missing or something like that. So yeah, there's problems, but
Hmm.
overall, I think it's working really well.
I think so. I think
Mm.
as- I think I think I think more than anything else, I think where we are at as a globe, like all countries and stuff like that. I think
Yeah.
where we're at with regards to the problems that we're having is less to do with like social services and stuff and the taxes that we pay. I think it's the amounts that we earn. I think the amounts that we
Yes.
earn for the
Yes.
cost of our living expenses and stuff like that, it doesn't add up properly. I think
Exactly.
expenses cost way more than what someone
Yes.
earns. When I consider how much I pay in rent and utilities and all that kind of stuff,
Yes.
and how much earnings I have, and I put those two numbers together, they don't match well. And
No.
in the
No. No.
favor
No.
of the bills cost more than I earn. And
Mm.
it's just because of the fact that and then you then have the social services having to, to sort of like help with certain things, for example. But generally speaking, it's to the point where you have to have two people working. You can't do it on a single
Oh.
salary. And I think when I think about like my parents' time and so forth, it shouldn't be that either you need social help or you need two people working. It should be that one person can earn and take care of the family, and the other
Yeah.
person earning
It was
should
like
be.
that.
It was
Mm.
the other person earning should be supplementary, or it should be something that they voluntarily decide they want to do. Right now
Exactly.
it's not very optional. Most people
No.
right now, especially like here in the UK,
Mm.
cannot survive on one
Yeah.
earnings in a home. You need to have multiple people earning just to be able
Mm.
to live a comfortable life, or you'll just be barely getting by because rent alone is way too expensive. Mortgages are too expensive. The amount people are paying, especially here in
Yeah.
the southern in the more southern parts of England, it's really expensive. If you go up north, it's a bit cheaper, but up
Yeah.
north there are less job opportunities. It's
Same
colder.
here. Exactly the same thing,
Yeah.
Sweden. It's quite a difference. When you look at the energy prices right now,
Mhm.
my mom pays like so much less than we do
Yes.
because it's like, uh, yeah. But you're right. This is quite interesting
Mhm.
topic in a way because I mean, if you think about it, or if I go back and think about it to start with, thinking loud apparently, so you
Mhm.
guys can read my mind. It was actually it's always been a thing. Like yeah, oh the wages are too low compared to the cost data. But I think it has gotten worse,
Yeah.
and for me, it's quite obvious that it started especially around also when COVID came. Again, COVID messed up so
Yeah, it
much,
did.
and it also gave these some of the big companies and everything. This is also discussion in Sweden. We talked about energy, right?
Mhm.
The energy sources, what it costs, and how they drive in pushing up the prices.
Mhm.
And the same with the grocery stores and everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's some major brands here in Sweden, and
Mhm.
they do a bit what they want. It
Mhm.
looks also as if they might have some kind of communication between
There's a
each other,
monopoly.
even though they are competitors.
Yeah.
And now, though, the good thing we are through the state here, we have though departments that are looking into
Mhm.
this once in a while, and they actually show that this is not healthy competition right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's on the it's up there if I put it like that. But it's true exactly what you say. I feel it quite strongly, and
Yeah.
yeah, I totally agree with you. It has become worse when it comes to the ratio between this is what I get, this is what it costs.
Yeah.
It,
Just to get
it
by.
it's
I even just think just before, like, and I think the thing with COVID, like you mentioned,
it's
I think
earlier than that. It's earlier than that, but I
I
think
think
it,
you're
it got
right.
like yeah.
I think
Mm.
you're right to a certain extent with regards to COVID did contribute to a lot of what we experience now. But I think what the way I
Because
would
they needed to gain back. They
yeah.
lost so much during this period of time. So I saw when things started to loosen up a bit
Mhm.
and things went back a bit to the more normal kind
Yeah.
of life, whatever that is. Then, yeah, that's when I saw a bit of the stress and oh, we got to get the economy going. Oh, people have to start to buy things again.
Mhm.
It's like, yeah,
Let's
consume. Yeah.
let's get them to consume more. But I think what COVID did more so than anything else, it exposed the issues we already the
Yeah.
underlying issues that were already existing in the systems that we have in place. And I think the systems we have in place, which is a society where consuming is the way to to get by, where there's a
Mm.
heavy push for people to buy more and spend more and so forth.
True.
I think back in, like, when I think about like my grandparents or my parents, to a certain extent, it was yes, people consumed, but I don't think it's to the levels that we do in our, in this generation.
No.
I think and like just a simple thing, like for example, like the amounts that we pay for streaming services. Everything is a subscription now. And
Exactly.
back
Exactly.
in the day, you didn't. Everything wasn't a subscription.
Yeah.
If you wanted something, some things were expensive. Like a video editing software was expensive. But if you really needed something like that, you had to pay the price. That was what
Yeah.
it
You
cost.
bought it. You literally
You
bought it.
bought it. You
Then you
bought
owned
it.
it. Owned
And
it.
you owned it.
Yeah.
You owned it. That was your software.
Mm.
But now everything is a subscription, to the point where, like, yesterday, so my missus is saying to me that yesterday, I went to the hardware to buy something, and I'm chatting with a bloke there, and Alex calls me, and she's like, "Hey, where are you?" I'm like, I'm at the hardware. I'm at Screwfix, and she's like, "Oh, well, you need to get back, cause I'm almost finished dinner." I was like, "All right, cool, I'll be there in a bit." And
Yeah.
she's like, "Oh, and my friend is coming over, right?" So she's got this friend named Aga, and she's coming over to ours. And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool. Why is she coming over?" Right?
Well, a friend. Yeah.
So she says to me, "Oh, well, I actually wanted to, like, she hasn't seen her friend in a minute, so it'd be nice for them to catch up. But also, she needed to borrow her friend's laptop to like update her CV." And I'm thinking to myself, like, why do you need a laptop to update your CV? Oh, our office subscription has ran out. I was like, has it now? I come home,
Oh.
I check it.
Oh.
The subscription is still valid. I was just like, oh, you just didn't know it was valid.
Okay.
But the
Oh.
thing is, what I believe happened on her laptop is essentially it does not show that it's active, because what happens with Windows and with a lot of computers now is they log you out of things if you haven't used it for a while, and so it
True.
shows as if she doesn't own it
Yes.
anymore and it doesn't work. But the fact that you have to go through those hoops to get something like that to work, a
Yeah.
software like Office, which is not really something that you really need to be connected to the internet for, it should
No.
just work, right? That is an issue, and I think almost everything these days have become that way, and it's to the point where
Yes.
now, for me, when I'm getting software that I'm going to work with, I try to find something that I can purchase straight out of the bat. So, software like for video editing, software like DaVinci Resolve and Vegas Pro, those are things that I swear by. I'm like, look, if someone asks me, hey, what should you get? I'm not about Adobe. I'm just like, look, get Vegas Pro or DaVinci Resolve. And I think if I check correctly, if I'm right, maybe I can help a few people out by doing this. I remember Humble Bundle had a sale on Vegas Pro over the holiday. It's still there. So you've got 7 days left. You can get Vegas Pro, the 2024 edition. When you buy this is yours. You own it.
Hmm.
And that's going for 24 pounds. I don't know what that's gonna be
Okay.
in your currency
Yeah.
in your home countries.
That's
I think
good.
for Swedish krona, that's probably like what, like 240 Swedish krona. Um,
Uh, no, 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 it was in pound, right?
yeah, pounds. So
No,
24
it's more.
pounds,
Then it's then it's up.
and it's up. Because
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I figure 24 pounds is about 240 Swedish krona. Um,
Oh,
where?
you said 200
Yeah,
pounds.
240.
Sorry, I
So
240. Okay.
24 pounds should be 240 Swedish krona. Isn't it like 10 to 1?
Yeah, but that's more if it's euros. I think you have to go up a bit more. The pound is, well, we can check. Isn't like 1 pound is 3 Swedish kronas or something like
Oh,
that?
is it?
Yeah,
Okay,
I
maybe
think so. I mean,
I've calculated
because
wrong.
yeah, but because like the euro is, it depends on, it goes up and down. But I think that's like one euro is like 11 Swedish kronas ish, you know, or maybe it's
Mm,
changed now. I can also check that
I'm
out.
googling this now. Okay, so 24 pounds Swedish krona. 327 Swedish krona.
Oh darn it!
Yeah.
I was wrong. I was wrong.
You were close. You were
Don't
close.
listen to me.
Not too bad. It's not too bad. So
No, not too
327,
bad. Not too
not
bad.
too bad at all. But just considering that amount for US, it will be somewhere close to that
Yeah, but
24.
that's, it's really good. That's the
That's a
bottom
really
line.
good, because
It's a good. Yeah, I mean, if I didn't, well, if I didn't use like Premiere Pro, I would definitely go with that.
yeah, yeah,
To own it, even
hmm
though, as you said, you're using DaVinci, it's great, it's
hmm
all that beautiful stuff. but that's a really good price for that kind of software.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Because for me, I
Mm.
use Vegas Pro as well, and I swear by Vegas Pro. I think it's a great piece of software.
It is. No, no, it is. It is.
And
Okay, I see now. Also, you had the subscription type deal with it's yeah, it's like Office product. It
yeah,
doesn't make sense. I'm
it
like,
makes
what?
no sense. A lot of things
Why?
are just subscriptions. Photo editing software, like right now, I've been compiling a list of software. I'll probably publish this at some point, hopefully. Don't hold me to it. You guys know what my track record has been over the past year. I'm hoping to fix that. But that being said, I've been compiling a list of software that I have been switching to, removing subscriptions and trying to find non-subscriptions alternatives to a lot of software that I use,
Yeah,
so that I can remove those costs from my expenses, because I
yeah,
we do spend a lot in subscriptions, on a, on average,
yeah.
as
It's
people
true.
these days.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that's a thing. But generally, yeah. Other than
Yeah,
that,
so it's cool. I mean, we went for look at this now, typical live stream that we have, right? I talked about my week. We got into this. It was yeah, it's great.
I
Nice
think it's
discussion.
perfect
But
because my week
yeah,
was not really I guess I can't say anything eventful really happened during my week that I can think of.
yeah.
Maybe I'm forgetting something, which sometimes happens. I forget
No,
some
but
things that happen.
think about it. You probably talked with your brothers.
Yeah,
You did,
we
right?
chatted, we played
Yeah, yeah.
some eFootball, family stuff,
I knew
the
it.
kids back at school, that kind of stuff, and yeah, it's not nothing really eventful. I think this week a little bit more so because Ty started his first week at school perfectly, no issues. Second week,
Good.
a bit of the same old. So
Ah, okay, 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 okay,
he's
okay.
getting back into trouble again. So that's not too cool at all this week.
Uh.
It's been a bit tough this week with regards to that,
Oh,
but
oh, it has. Okay.
yeah, not so good this week. Last week he was amazing. I was loving it.
Mm.
I was just like, man, let this continue.
Yeah, of course. I totally understand. You get more relaxed as a parent as well
Yeah,
when you
you know,
don't hear from the from the teachers or whatever have you. It's
you're
like,
not feeling anxious, like, oh, they're gonna call me,
sure.
or
No, it's true. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so it's been a thing. It has
Mm.
been a thing with regards to that. But I I'm hoping for the best. It is
Yeah.
just what it is at this point in time, I guess.
Mm.
Generally speaking, that being said, I think everything else pretty chill. I know quite a few people would find this podcast looking to find out about what the title, which is Paradise. So how about we just jump into that and we just
Yeah, we
give a
should do that.
bit
We
of
should talk a bit about Tele section then. Go into
yes.
Tele section.
Let's
Also,
jump
see
into
just
that.
Nala mentioning Nero when it comes to editing and burning CDs. Oh my, no, we're talking
Oh, I
about
remember that. I
yeah,
remember
the
Nero.
good old stuff here.
I
Yeah. Mm.
remember that. I used to go through so many DVD drives just burning stuff back in
Ah,
the day, and CD drives, and using Nero,
yeah.
and there's another one, Fire Burn or something like that, was it? Was that the name of
Mm.
it? There was a few of them back in the day. I
Yeah, but
mean,
then we are there again. Oh my God! Now I'm starting to think about the former topic we had because I'm thinking again also about music. Yeah, digital Spotify, pay for something or use free version doesn't matter, but you don't own it. It's like blah blah. I can't.
I've
And then
started buying my music, Rog, again, like, because
really,
yeah, you remember when you released that album last time with Maria,
yeah, yeah.
I bought all of your songs, and
Oh, that is so neat. Yeah.
the thing is that I've realized now that my Spotify has been cancelled because I'm not paying that monthly fee all the time anymore.
No, no.
I can't listen to all of my playlists the way I want to because it's sort of I can do it on my computer, but I can't do it on my phone. And because they want you to pay to be able to select the songs you want, it just randomly plays songs.
Yeah,
But
right.
on my Apple account, all my music that I've purchased, which I've purchased quite a few, I can just click and
Nice.
play and listen to it, and I think that helps. And even like one of my brothers, he ended up buying a record player, and he's buying records of
Oh,
his
he did.
favorite
Oh, that is
songs.
so nice. Oh,
So he's getting his favorite albums on records. We were talking about it the other night, and I was just like, "That's so cool.
yeah.
That is so cool."
It is.
So,
I have my setup down in the basement. The
mhm,
thing is, as I told my player, or my vinyl player isn't really working that well. I
mhm,
gotta actually take a look at it and see if it's possible to fix it.
mhm,
Because man, I miss that. I really do, and I have quite like a collection of old good like music that I would like to listen to. So,
mhm.
and you can't beat that feeling, like, and then
Yeah, it is
yeah.
quite cool. It is quite
The
cool.
analog way.
Yep,
Yeah.
very
There's
very
also a
cool.
question to you, Q, even though it's
Mhm,
related to It's related to gaming. We
Hmm.
could save it to later. That's from Naldo there. I think
Yeah.
you can see it when it comes
Let
to.
me just take a look and see. I'll see if I will respond to that now or later. Let's do that later. Will you be actually I can answer that. Will I be getting Tales of Graces F remastered? Probably. That's a probably. That's not a yes. That is a probably for me. I don't know because it is one more game that I have not. I don't know if I have time to play. I would love to play it. I do already own the game on I think on one of my accounts on some platform. But that being
Yeah.
said, I don't know. Hopefully I will. Hopefully I will, and
Mm,
if I do get it, it will be for Steam via, and I'll probably play it via my Steam Deck. Because that's how I prefer to play most of my games these days anyway.
nice.
So back to Hell's Paradise.
Yes.
Um,
Want to hear about
Hell's
it?
Paradise is an
Mm,
anime
mm.
about a guy who's on death row, right? He's
Oh.
a shinobi who's been captured and he's on death row. And they're trying everything to kill him, but they can't kill him. You know, they try to decapitate him, the swords break. They try
Oops.
to burn him, the flames burn out, but he doesn't burn. They try pulling him apart by having bulls pull him, and he exhausts the bulls and they're lying on the ground exhausted. So he's almost unkillable. And then they bring in this lady who's documenting all of this and stuff like that. And then after she's made her analysis, she's asking him questions and trying to understand him and so forth. Then she comes to the conclusion that okay, cool, I've got everything I need to do. All right, now I'm gonna have to kill you. And and
Okay.
so she takes her sword out. She is an executioner. She's from
Oh.
a she is from a clan of swords people, samurai that
Uh-huh.
execute people on behalf of the shogun.
Oops.
And what happens is that she decides, well, it's time to get rid of this guy. And when she goes for him, he actually runs. He tries to escape because he can sense the intent that she can actually get rid of him. The other people couldn't. But for her, the way she uses her sword and everything like that, he was like, if this sword hits me, my head's gone. So
Oh,
he
okay.
basically in self-defense escapes, and she's like, I thought you wanted to, to not exist anymore. And he was like, yeah, I do. She's like, well, you're not acting like it. And then slowly but surely they get to understand that that he has a reason that he wants to live, and it's because he has a wife that he wants to get back to. I'm spoiling the anime, by the way, for people who haven't seen
Yeah.
the first episode, but I think it's worth it. So he then sort of have a something that the emperor wakes up where he wants to send them to an island. So he's gonna send him and a bunch of other convicts who are on death row to an island so that they can find this potion that's supposed to give you infinite you live forever.
Mm.
And they basically go to this island, but the island is dangerous. There's monsters and all this sort of stuff on this island, and they have to find this elixir of life. And so you follow him and this samurai girl and a few other people who have been sent to this island as they try to survive. But I think the best way I could describe Hell's Paradise when it comes to its plot and how the characters develop and so forth, it reminds me of Game of Thrones because
Oh, okay.
you have a lot of characters that you're introduced to and you think, oh my god, this is main character quality. I like this character. That character's gone. it's
Oh,
it's
one
like
of
that.
those. Yeah,
It's like
got
that.
it.
So you cannot get attached to anyone. You don't know who's gonna be around for long. It is very much. It's one
Oh,
of those
damn it.
stories where you don't know how it's really gonna go. Excluding for the main guy, you think he's gonna be
Hmm.
around for long, but who knows? Maybe he mightn't. I wouldn't be
Ah,
surprised if he wasn't by the end of the
things can
series.
happen, yeah. Huh?
It's interesting. So season one I've watched so far. Season two, as Nalu's mentioned here in the chat, season two is supposed to be coming out. I believe it's this year. I think I actually I tricked Alex into believing that there was no season two for either this or was it no, I think it was Dan the Dan. Anyway, generally speaking, 13 episodes. It's on Crunchyroll. It's all in English. I give it a 9 out of 10 on IMDb. I've completed the first season. I think it's great. I think it's a
Hmm.
really good watch. And it is currently something now I have to wait to see what happens next with it. I have to wait for the new
Yeah.
episode to come out, and I don't know when it's
It
coming. I
it
believe.
looks cool. I was watching the trailer while you were speaking, just
Hmm.
checking out on IMDb and everything. And as you said, I mean, it's 8.1 over there.
Yeah.
Seems to be from 2023, if I
Hmm.
got it right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the
It is from
original
2023.
title is Yigu Kuraku. That's freaking great.
You
Yigu
are
Kuraku.
you are so good at saying those things. I looked at that
Yeah,
the
but
first
I
time and
have
was like,
been reading a bit Japanese. Uji Kaku, the creator. Why am I
I'm
having that voice? Well, it comes with it. I don't know. Yeah,
That's
like
literally that's that's the thing, when people speak different languages, they have different accents. Like I notice when I speak to
true.
Polish
Oh, true.
people, the way they pronounce certain words, like I notice a lot of the Polish women I know, when they
Mm.
speak Polish, their tone gets a bit deeper. I
It's so interesting.
yeah. So
I'm gonna fill in, but finish what
yeah,
you. Yeah,
so
regarding.
so
Yeah.
they get a deeper tone when they speak Polish, but when they speak English, their voice is high pitched, and it's sort of surprising when you hear it, because you're like, huh, you got a high pitched girly voice, and then when you speak Polish, it's like it's got a bit more grit to it. It's like Polish, Polish, Polish.
But
So
but this is so interesting. You see why I think just because talking about Japanese, right?
mhm,
And the fact that we when I was playing with Chromata, we went over there a few times,
mhm,
and most of the time when we were in Japan, we were touring together with a Japanese marimba player. Her
mhm,
name is Keiko Abe. I hope she's alive still. She's quite old now.
mhm.
Amazing lady in many ways. But when she was talking, I thought it was just like a typical Japanese lady thing, if that makes sense. Like when she was talking English, it was, yeah, it's very nice. We're gonna play music, la la la, like that. And
Mhm.
then when I heard her talk like Japanese with her assistant and things, it was like, "Watashi wa the cake wa this." Yes. I was like, "Who are you?"
Who are you exactly? Exactly. Who are
But
you?
maybe is it so that I mean I don't know if I changed my I don't think I changed my register that much when I'm speaking English
I think
compared to
you do.
Swedish,
I think you
or do
do.
I?
I think you do. I think because
Oh
I noticed
shit!
it more with
Guilty of
Hans than
charge.
you. I noticed it more with Hans than with you. When he switches to Swedish, it is
Yeah.
I can tell there's a difference in his tone and how he speaks.
Mm.
I think maybe because I spend so much time with you, I don't notice it as much with you. Maybe because it's like with Alex
Mm.
now, I notice it less with her when she's speaking Polish when she switches.
Right.
When I'm listening to other Polish people, I notice it more. Maybe because I'm not accustomed to hearing their Polish voice. But I've become so accustomed to hers. I notice it with Xavi when Xavi speaks Polish, his tone changes as well. It doesn't sound the same. So when he switches to Polish, it's a different tone, the way he pronounces words and so forth.
Okay.
But yeah, I think you do. I think you do have a different tone.
Yeah,
When
probably. I
you speak
mean,
Swedish.
first off, of course, we know I mean, if you would, well, it's the same language, but if you would speak more Trini, I've
Yeah.
heard you doing that a bit, and of course it's different because it's also we're talking accent, and I guess
Yes.
that's the thing too. So, but we're also talking melody because
Yeah.
the Swedish melody differs from the English melody
Mhm.
because certain words you go up instead of down,
Mhm.
and the opposite around. So
Mhm.
yeah, I can imagine. But but
Yeah.
even so, with that into consideration, I think
Mhm.
it's kind of interesting that we have experienced it. But I, regarding a musician from Japan and you with your wife, and it's like, yeah, wow,
It is
it's
quite an
really
interesting
cool.
thing. I find it fascinating. Like I listen sometimes I listen to Alex or other Polish people speaking, and I just find it fascinating. Like even when I visit you and I listened to like you and Annalie speaking, and I could hear the tones and the differences in the voice. Sometimes I'd be sitting at sitting at a table or somewhere in the kitchen, and you guys are talking about something in the kitchen, and it just sounds so nice. It's there's this different melody and different way in which you sound when
Yeah.
when you switch to Swedish. And when you're speaking English, it's completely different. I think as well, like in your family, I noticed it the most with Isaac and Annalie. I
Mm.
noticed this switch more so with Isaac and Annalie more than anything else, than
Okay.
anyone else. I think with you and Adam, it's less noticeable, a little bit
Hmm.
less. But with Annalie and Isaac, I noticed it instantly. I was like, yep, completely different tone, sound like different people.
Ah,
Like if you
interesting.
played Isaac's Swedish voice and his English voice and told me these were the same person, I would not believe it. If you did
Ah,
the tone, I would just
okay.
be like, "No, two different guys." Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That is so interesting to hear, because I haven't really thought about it that much, but it's probably as exactly as you say.
Hmm.
Because yeah,
I think with you, where I noticed it a lot, we were having fun. I have a video of this actually. I should probably share it on social media, where you were showing me the differences in the accents based on different parts of Sweden. Like if you have a Gothenburg accent
yeah.
or a Stockholm
Oh, that
accent.
one.
That was quite fascinating. The way you changed your tone and the way you said certain words and phrases and so forth was completely different. And I've got a recording of that for those of you listening to the podcast. Maybe I'll
Oh
share it
wow,
on
yeah.
here if Roger's okay with that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. I mean, I'm not an expert, but I have a bit of a clue how you can, when it comes to the dialects and the accents, so
it was cool. It was cool. It was just
yeah,
cool
yeah, it
sitting
was
and
fun.
listening to you have that moment of explaining that to me and so
Sure.
forth. While of course barbecuing at the same time.
Yep. Yeah, yeah, it was that. Now I remember it
It
as well.
was
Exactly the
barbecuing.
moment.
We were
Yeah, of
outside of
course.
the house, right? I
Yep,
think we
yep.
had just came back from a walk and we were barbecuing, and you were
Yeah. Wasn't it
explaining it.
the long like forest walk or
I think
something
it
like
was
that?
because I think Anli just had just gotten those apples, that she was gonna make
Right.
into an apple sort of crumble, and
Yeah.
Adam was outside with you doing the barbecue, and I think he was holding something, and then we were having a conversation about it. I don't know how the conversation started up, I can't remember, but then you started to like do the different accents and tones and so forth, and yeah, I hit record it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember that. It could have been. It actually, the conversation could have gone through like talking maybe a bit about Hans,
Yeah, it could have been. It could have been about
because I mean,
Hans.
since he, if I remember it correctly, he didn't he live like on the west coast of Sweden,
I think
like
his dad is from
the
Gothenburg, so he has a Gothenburg
the
accent.
Gothenburg area. So
Yeah.
that's why I probably. Du vet, bor du på västkusten så är det så göteborgskan, den låter så här. Now I talk with a Gothenburg accent.
Yep. Yep.
But this is that it does in Stockholm, like East Coast. That's West Coast. This East Coast where I live here in Stockholm, it's more like välkomna till Stockholm. Jag bor här sedan ganska många år tillbaka och jag har lärt mig nu att man måste vara väldigt noggrann när man uttalar vissa ord. Yeah, I was just talking about some freaking gibberish. No, it was real sentences, but yeah, whatever.
That is cool. It's
Mhm.
so cool. I always think to myself, man, I wish I continued Spanish when I was younger because it's so
Ah,
cool
yeah,
being able to switch to another language.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Also great to talk smack about people in public when you don't want them to know you.
That too, but at the same time, it's really hard to talk smack to anyone it's really hard nowadays.
Because everyone speaks,
That's
people
changed
speak so
too.
many
Yeah,
different languages now.
nah, but it's you think about for me, smack talk is mostly related to gaming, or at least it was, and now it's so restricted.
Mhm.
You can't do that. And so
Mhm.
people are also get easily butthurt. I had a
Mhm.
comment on one of my videos
Mhm.
recently. I have to say this. I mean, okay, I'll yeah, whatever. It
Let's
was an
hear it.
intro to a Battlefield 4 video where I
Mhm.
was sniping, and I own this guy pretty hard.
Mhm.
I just no scoped him, and then I ran over him and just shot him with my pistol and walked by. A guy wrote, "Oh, you're a toxic gamer." I was
Wow.
like, "What? You're a toxic gamer?" I was like, "No, what do you mean? Like toxic gamer? That's when you call people names and like."
Oh, I've had toxic gamers like on eFootball. I've had people cuss me out. Like I've got message trails of people
So
telling
so
me
so
all
t-
sorts of stuff.
teabag, doing something like that, which I
Nah, nah,
very
that's
seldom do.
normal.
I very seldom do. But there was once upon a time
Hmm.
actually a thing people did, especially since this guy, which people don't see in the video, he came into close to our spawn and I got killed him. He shot me from the back or the side
Hmm.
before, and then I spawned again and just erased him.
It's revenge. Revenge is sweet. I've played
Exactly.
people in eFootball where like if I'm playing someone in eFootball and I can tell that I'm better than them, and they score against me and they do a big celebration. Oh, trust me, I'm gonna celebrate against you. And then I will try to score 5 goals and celebrate all those 5 goals. And I will showboat and I will do skills against you. And then at the end of the game, I'll send you a nice little message that says GG. And then
Oh
some
yeah,
people
yeah, yeah,
rage when they see that message. Some people are like, "You're so
yeah.
toxic," blah blah blah. And I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
some people I just say next time don't celebrate so much and it'll be all right. Next time I'll just probably score 1 goal. maybe I'm a toxic
Yeah.
gamer and I don't know it. But
No, no. But the
but
thing is, my bottom line is now it's like so restricted. There's two things.
mhm,
Sometimes not even working voice communication
mhm,
unless people are using headset. And
yeah,
also the reason why is that it's moderated, like AI moderated. So you can get banned. You can get I'm thinking, for example, I don't play much Call of Duty nowadays, but even so, and as you mentioned now, talking about the old school MW2 search and destroy lobbies, we're
oh,
not even going to go there.
people are
That
rude.
that that could be hard. And I played competitive Counter Strike for some time. Believe me, that could be
I
the
usually
teeth.
don't.
Arr. But
I
but
think.
but I'm just saying
Mhm,
that the way that it's done now, people are afraid to express something,
yeah.
whatever, because they might, get you know, they might get kicked out or a warning or something like that, or even worse. So I think it's a pity. I don't mean that we shouldn't call each other like, there are certain how do you say,
There's a
limits
limit.
that
There's where you
you
shouldn't
shouldn't
go
cross
past.
the line. You shouldn't
Hmm.
cross there's a line.
Yeah.
But beneath that, if you do it with some kind of glimpse in the eye and a bit of it's a part of the game kind of thing, then I mean,
Yeah.
why not? Come on.
A little bit of smack talk, and one of the things I
Thin
notice this
skin,
more
yeah.
so now in like real football as well. Like when I watch, like I remember watching a football match this past weekend with Alex and Ty,
Yeah.
and it was a cup final between Real Madrid and Barcelona, and Real Madrid has this football player named Vinicius Junior, who I like Vini to a certain extent. He's a
All right.
very skilled Brazilian football player, but at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, Vini annoys me. And the reason why Vinny annoys me is that he's one of those people that he will showboat, he will do all these sort of skills and step overs and all this sort of stuff. But then when someone fouls him or if someone just says something to him or pushes him or whatever, Vinny loses the plot and he gets into your face and he
Ah,
wants to fight. And I remember they had Real Madrid had a match. I think it was probably about a week ago or something like that, where Vinny got sent off, right? And why he got sent off is because he was getting off of the ground and the goalkeeper sort of like I think he pushed him or something, and Vinny got up and he pushed the keeper, but he pushed him in the face like that, right? It was a soft
yeah,
touch, but in the footballing rules, you're not supposed to. If you get close to anyone's face, you will get sent off. Apparently, I think that's a
yeah.
stupid rule because a little soft
Mm.
touch like that is nothing gonna
Yeah,
hurt
yeah,
anyone.
yeah. It
But
sounds, yeah.
in the end, that's in the rules. They sent Vinny off, and while he's getting sent off, now one of the things I don't understand about football players sometimes is when the ref sends you off, he never changes his mind. It never happens. I've never seen a ref send someone off and say, "Oh, the person like, oh, you're a complete wanker," and the ref say, "Oh, you're right. Come back on the field." It's never happened. But you see, he's having a go at the ref. He's pulling at his teammates, trying to pull him off the field, like he wants to fight the ref. And I'm just like, mate, just get off the bloody field. Like you're already been sent off.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
irritating that you've been sent off, right? I don't think it's fair the way you were sent off. But at the same time, how you react, there's a certain percentage of grace that you should have as a player
Yes,
of that
yes.
level that you should be able.
Professionalism,
A professionalism. I don't think Vinny has it. And I
No.
watching the Barcelona match against Real Madrid. Real Madrid were losing. They lost five
Mm.
two. Watching the match and seeing Vinny slowly lose his edge as people would say stuff to him or whatever. He's got, as Nalo put it, thin skin, and
Yes.
it's a point where teams now they know he's got thin skin and
Yes.
players
So
will
they
say things to
push
him
him. Mm.
to get himself sent off. And
Yeah.
when you're at that level where you are a liability to your team, like if Real Madrid said this season like they wanted to get rid of him, he's a great player, but I'd probably say do it because he is a liability unless he
Yeah,
can
yeah.
learn to control that temper where someone can
Mm.
say something to him and he can with grace, handle himself, because I mean, I know he's probably a lot of people have said stuff to him, some of it being racist or whatever have you, and so forth. But there has to come a point where you have to be able to embody that because players have experienced that throughout the years, throughout all of football players have endured stuff like that. And I've heard stories from listening to older footballers talk about their experiences and stuff like that. But a lot of those players, they would show you on the field. They would go on the field and beat your team terribly, and then after they would say something. They wouldn't say it during the match because they knew
Yeah,
we need
right.
to finish this match. It's the same thing like with France and Zinedine Zidane. When Zizou was in that final, that World Cup final, against Italy, and
Mm.
they had a chance for France to win that.
Mm.
and he lost his cool. Someone said something to him, he lost his cool, and he headbutt the
Yeah.
guy and gets sent off, and his team loses because of that.
Yeah, I remember that still. Like
It
I can see it
ruined
in
him.
front of me, actually. I remember it so well. I
I
was
watched it
really like
live.
frustrated. Yeah.
It was horrible, and he's Zizou's considered a legend today, but I feel like that really he could have been considered even higher up
Yeah,
had
yeah,
he
yeah.
not done that. And not
Mm.
just that for him, but other players that played with him alongside him that would have been looking to get their hands on a World Cup missed out on that opportunity just because of the fact that he lost the plot because someone
Mm.
said something to him that he otherwise could not control himself with. And for me, I think when it comes to sports, it's like I say you win first and then you do
Yeah.
whatever else you have to do after that. You know?
True. No, no, but it's true. It's a question of professionalism, and also, as you say, it's anger management or
Yeah.
emotional. You have to, yeah, you have to deal with that to a certain degree,
Hmm.
especially on that level. It's
Yeah.
just going to be there. You can't. It's nothing that you can scream about and believe that they're going to stop or it's going to
Yeah.
disappear. It's going to be there. You just have to learn to deal with it. Or, as Nalo says, people need to relearn sticks and stones again. That's a good one, actually. No, but it's true. You gotta you can't be too like thin like have too thin skin. You know,
Hmm.
it's not good for you,
Yeah.
but it's not if you put it in as you describe it in sports, for example, and in
Hmm.
team-based sports like
Yeah.
football, whatever, ice hockey, doesn't matter. You have to have that discipline, and
Hmm.
if because if you do
Hmm.
and learn that, then like your full potential can be unlocked in so many
Yes.
ways
Yes.
because you don't get off, because it's one thing to do something that he did, like, push someone in the face and get sent off,
Hmm.
but it could just be that you get like off track, off balance, and you start to play bad just
Yeah.
because of that.
Hmm.
I mean, it's the same thing when I was like being a like yeah, professional musician.
Hmm.
You had to be able to don't lose your focus
Hmm.
and concentration, even though someone in the audience just is about to leave the concert or where you're playing, or starts coughing for the
Hmm.
fifth time, or
You have to stay
I
in the
mean, I would
zone.
like to go down to that person and say, could you please leave so I can do my job up here? But I mean, I can't do that.
Yes, because you're a
It's something
professional.
I can do afterwards if I would like to, like
Hmm.
after everything. But I,
You're a professional. You save
maybe
that
a
till
bad
till
example, but
you save that till after you could probably have a word with someone. Excuse me, did you not enjoy the show? You were coughing, during the show. I just want to know if there's something we can do to make it better for you. But
exactly, yeah, that's
generally
the good one.
speaking, I think like Nalu put it in the chat was is even I think is really good. It's best revenge is success. I think you do well.
Absolutely,
That's the-
it's a
and
good saying.
I've done the same with like my kids, like with Xavi. I remember there was one point in time. I think I've told the story before. He was in school, and this kid was picking on him on the basketball court. He kept pushing him and stuff. And I remember Xavi Xavi coming home crying that day, and he said,
Mm.
"Oh, Dad, like this guy has been pushing me on the basketball field, on the court, and this and that and so forth." And I was like, "So what did you do about it?" I was like, "Did you get a free throw or something? Isn't that what happens in basketball?" And he's like, yeah. I was like, so then what did you do? He's like, well, I didn't take it. The coach told me I could take it or I could sit it out, and I chose to sit it out. I was like, what are you talking about? Sit it out? What is wrong with you? I was like, mate, you go back next time. And I pull up a video of some of the best basketball players, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Shaquille O'Neal, all these big basketball players, and I showed them getting, revenge on someone who either pushed them or said something to them or whatever. And, basketball players, they're very vibrant, they slam dunk on you and
Yeah,
then they
yes,
showboat and
yeah,
they show you a celebration. And I
yeah,
showed them, I was like, this is what you do. You don't go and sit
yeah,
on the bench and cry about it and be upset. You go and you showboat. If you want to cry after you've
yeah.
won, right? And I
Mm.
said, next, you don't come home and tell me that again. You come home and you tell me, you tell me that you fought back, that you went out there
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you battled for your team and you fought back. I was like, is this guy
yeah.
better than you at basketball? No, he isn't. I was like, so what are you coming to tell me about? You started out. I was like, don't come back and tell me that tomorrow. Mm-mm.
Mm.
Upset about that. He comes back the next day and he's like, I completely forgot about the conversation. Next day he comes in, he's like, oh, Dad. I was like, how's it? He's like, oh, it's all right, it's all right. I had basketball again today. I was like, really? How was it? He's like, I scored the most points. I was like, seriously? He's like, yeah, same guy pushed me around.
Yeah.
I
Look at
pushed
that.
back, and
Mm.
then when I won, I showboated. I blew him a kiss. I was like, oh, that's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
celebrate. You do whatever you showboat. You look at all the best football players. Like there was that one time where a coach said something to Cristiano Ronaldo. He didn't say anything. He beat their team, and then when he finished, he was like, "Suck it," you know.
Exactly. But
That's what you
no,
do.
yeah, yeah, that's the thing. If we're getting into, for example, being the captain in a
Mhm.
football team or hockey team or whatever team sport you're thinking of, it's one thing that you might be very well spoken.
Mhm.
What you say, for example, in the intermission or whatever have you,
Mhm.
guys, come on, we got to get things together. We can do this. I believe in you. Whatever. That's one thing. But the
Mhm.
most important thing that is to lead by show
Lead by
on the
example.
ice or out
Mhm.
on the grass, on the pit, how the game should be played.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
in there 100% and show this is the attitude we should have,
Mhm.
because the team players, the guys behind you will see and they will follow.
Mhm.
So also what you said is great, because if you have that kind of mental, like revenge is success, kind of best revenge is success,
Mhm.
if everyone have that mindset and keep their feelings how do you say controlled,
Mhm.
then like the boost that it gives the team as a whole is tremendous, and that's
Mhm.
when you also can start to beat like opponents that are on the paper better than you, because you
Mhm.
have that kind of mental strength.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is very interesting, because it's the mentality behind things, and also mentality behind succeeding, turning like also disappointments and rejections
Mhm.
and losses into something that can become better in the future, like become a win instead of a loss.
Yeah.
You learn something from it. I mean, we've all been children, we've all been falling and we've hurt our knees and everything, but we have to get up there again and try once
Walk it
more.
off. Yeah,
What
that's it.
went wrong? Okay, I didn't see that big pebble over there. Next time I'm going to run around it instead of over it. Maybe. Or don't put your hand on the stove when it's like still hot. It's a lot of things, but it's like it's a process.
It is. It
But
is.
I think emotions are great, but emotions has to be in relation to how do you say what you're doing, and the task ahead of you if you're going
Mhm.
to succeed. That's also why I think when you and I have been discussing also politics, uh, some people sometimes get too emotional, and when they act only upon emotions, it very often goes wrong.
Mhm.
You have to sit down and think about things, and look upon it and from different angles, and as you said also when we're talking about news, get different things, different sayings, different versions, and try to find your own what do you believe in,
Mhm.
instead of just taking it for granted that the, the thing that comes like over here from this direction, that's the truth. Maybe it's not always like that. So I got a bit philosophic here.
Oh, no, 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 totally fine. Like I'm just noticing like you started glitching out. I'm
Oh,
just check.
I started glitching out.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
just checking the connection. Oh, maybe someone's listening to us and they didn't like what we were saying.
could
Oui,
be
oui.
so. Da da
Uh,
da. The big brother is seeing us.
yeah.
But with that said, time flies also. Oh shit. Oh, of course, we're over time already.
We are over
But
time.
we're having a really good time over here. We were saying, yeah, you were. Is there anything else you want you
Oh
want to
no,
add to your?
I honestly have nothing else to talk about with regards to Hell's Paradise, and gaming this week was, yeah, just playing E with my brothers, so there's nothing new on that front as well. So I'm all out. It's got nothing else. What do you have, Roger?
What do I have? Well, I gotta before I get into what I've seen, because it's kind of interesting. For some reason, I got into watching Western again,
Mhm.
and it's new. It's new. Both are new. Just before the podcast, I'm not sure how do you pronounce well this word. Is it as I believe? I just gonna put
Type
it
it.
in Discord here
Oh, let me take a look.
when it's spelled
See.
like that.
Primeval. What
Yeah,
is it?
thank you.
Primeval.
It's like I thought. There's a new series on Netflix that is called American Primeval,
Mhm.
and it's a Western series. It's a gritty and adventurous exploration of the birth of the American West.
Mhm.
We've seen it or heard about it before, but here it is again. But it's really good. I am into it. I'm like, ooh, I gotta watch more. Violent
Mhm.
collisions of cults, religion, men, women fighting for control of the new world. The newcomers, the new, people, the Mormons, the
Mhm.
Indians, everyone. yeah, it's good. I can highly recommend this. But I'm going to talk maybe more about this later on. But I just want to say that I've started to watch it. It's good. It's worth it. It's an 8.2 on IMDb. So with that
Okay.
said, into the main this time around, which is also Western. It's from last year, 2024, and it's the epic epos from Mr. Kevin Costner, The Horizon, an American Saga, Chapter One,
Mhm,
as he has planned or doing a few of them. This is a long one. How long was it? Was it almost 3 hours?
mhm,
Well, even so, it chronicles of a multifaceted 15-year span of pre and post Civil War expansion and settlement of the American West.
mm.
So a bit, similar in a way. Um,
Very similar.
Also, yeah, I liked it. I watched it just the other day, 2 days ago, I think.
Mhm,
This has been a bit though mixed when it comes to critics and what people think.
mhm,
Well, the director is himself, meaning Kevin Costner.
mhm,
Um, but I like it. You and I've talked about it before, and I've always
mhm.
said I like Western as a
Yeah.
like a genre. Also
Mhm,
grew up with some Western movies and stuff like that.
mhm,
It has a 6.7 on IMDb. I gonna land a bit. I gonna give it a 6.9 right
mhm,
now, and then we see what happens when the other movies comes around.
mm.
But I do think it's worth watching if you like this kind of genre of movies.
Yeah.
Then definitely. I mean, I also like Kevin Costner. So, and I think yeah, it's good. It's good actually. It's
It's
a
on
epic
Netflix.
western. Yes.
It's on Netflix.
Or-
All right. That's
mhm.
cool. That's pretty cool. I might check this out. Like I've
I hope, or am I
I'm
talking?
seeing I'm seeing Netflix. So when I search for it, Netflix comes up. So I think it's on Netflix.
Uh, I think, I think I'm.
I'm
Well, maybe we're in
seeing
your region. I
what
think I actually watched it on Max. I think I
really?
did. Yeah, I think so. I think I'm not saying it correctly here. I have to think. Is that
Hmm.
the case? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was on Max. My bad. If yes,
For
Max,
me, I mean,
Max.
it's probably the thing with these regions and all this sort of stuff. Different things, different regions.
Yeah, we've talked about that before.
I'm seeing Prime Video popping up as well for it. But that's a purchase. You have to pay
Yeah.
4.99 or 2.99 for it.
Mm.
Maybe if I this Netflix link doesn't look like a regular Netflix link, so I don't think I want to click on it. Um,
Nah.
but I'm not
But
sure.
yeah.
It,
Well,
it
Max here, definitely Max. I remember that now.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
The other series, American Prime Evil, is on Netflix here.
when you
Mm.
bring up Netflix, it brings up something that I did watch this week that I didn't talk about, but I'll probably talk about next week. Is
Yeah.
WWE's on Netflix, and I have watched a few of that, and
Okay.
I am
Yeah. Cool.
yeah, I think I'll talk about next week a bit more because
Yeah. Yeah.
I've seen
Do
a few
that
of it.
because yeah, I've seen it's there. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
But with
interesting.
that said, bro, we should since time flies, we should also get into gaming.
Get into the
Uh,
gaming, bro. Talk to me. What have you been
oh,
playing?
I should.
Yeah, I have nothing
Should
to. I
I?
have literally
Should
just
I?
played E with my brothers, and that's been very little. So yeah,
It's
not
all good.
much
It's all
to
good, bro.
mention for me gaming this week.
Yeah. I have continued to stream, which I talked about last week, just
Hmm.
following up here. The Quarry,
Yeah.
this horror game by Supermassive Games I talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Just continues to be very good.
Yeah.
Entertaining, fun to play. Like it, like it, like it. But I have been going back to one of those games that I played quite some. One of the few games, like if I think about the last 4 years that I have really gotten into and played a lot,
Hmm.
and that is the free to play massive battlefield like shooter called Planetside 2, which is celebrating, well, it has been celebrating 12 years anniversary this year, but at the end of 2025,
Hmm.
on November 20, it's going to be 13 years.
Wow.
And I
Classic.
think it's only about 1 year ish or less.
Hmm.
Then they got these new developers, which is Toadman Interactive, who took over from
Hmm.
Daybreak Games. So, you know, I always I can't really say that I've had bad, yeah, maybe once in a while moments, but most of the time when I log into this game and I play it, I always have fun playing.
Hmm.
And as we've said, at the end of the day, that's the most important thing when we play a video
That
game.
is that is definitely
It
it.
is, yeah. No, I really like it. I've had a good time. I mean, they continue to do updates
Hmm.
for sure. Of course, it's a bit painful to see that the player count is lower. It's like on daily average, just on Steam, it's not more than like 750 players, daily players on average. But
Mhm.
at the same time, there is more because some people are playing outside of Steam, like directly through the launcher,
Mhm.
and also actually on PS4. Even though this is a very like a PC oriented game, definitely
Mhm.
plays best on PC.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but so much content, so much to do. I made a video about Planetside 2 just the other day on my channel.
Mhm.
I really want to talk about it again. I mean, it's one of those games. It's free to play and it has so much depth. It's one of those you can really get lost into it if you want to, which I
Mhm.
did for some time. Not only you have all these different classes to choose from, but there's like three factions, and if you are really, really into it, you can just create three like separate profiles and play them all. You
Mhm.
know, maybe you log in the next day and play as Vanu against the other fractions. I mean, it depends on what you're into.
Mhm.
But as a whole, I have missed this because, as I said, I think that it's been a bit stale. The Call of Duty franchise is not what it used to be, and it's a pretty bad place. The whole, I like the business of Activision and their decisions with their games.
Mhm.
And I also feel that the Delta Force free to play Battlefield like game has taken or made some decisions that isn't that great either. So for me as an FPS gamer, it's been a bit like, it's been a bit Sahara to be honest.
Mhm.
So we'll see. It's a new year though. Things are, there's new games coming up. We'll see
Mhm.
what happens. But yeah, that's mainly been my game. And I'm gonna stream Planetside 2 on Sunday. That's how much I like it.
I remember playing
Sorry.
Planetside back in the day as well.
Mhm.
I think we played that maybe once before in the past, if I remember correctly. Uh,
I don't think so. We played Warframe for sure. That
we
we've
have
done.
we have done Warframe, yeah, but I remember playing
But
Planetside because isn't
oh, you
Planetside
think
the one
so?
where you slide around a lot and then you jump and you
No,
float? It's not
no,
Planetside.
no.
What's that one that you slide around and you can jump and float for a while and it's like
I don't know.
it's a
I mean, we have
shooter.
played, even though we haven't played that often. We've played a few games through the years, but I can't really recall what kind of game you are referring to. But it's not
Mm,
PlanetSide
it's not
2.
Planetside
PlanetSide
2.
2 is boots on the ground, very like you know
Halo-like.
basic. Yeah, yeah, in a way, but
Hmm.
big battlefield,
Okay, I think I'm
sci-fi.
thinking of something else. Yeah, yeah. There's something else that we've played that where you kind of
Yeah.
sort of like have hover boots or something and you fly around all over the place. I think it's by the same people who did Paladins.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Now I'm getting curious.
yeah, I am. It's
What
actually
could that
buttering me
be?
now that I don't know. I think it's Hi-Res Games made that game. Let me see if I can find it.
Hmm.
Um, Hi-Res. You get it.
What could that be?
Mm, Thinking about a shooter. Somehow when I looked at the link after you mentioned it, I thought of this other game, but let me see.
Interesting.
I'm gonna go to
Hmm.
the Wikipedia page. It's probably
Yeah,
gonna be
sure.
on there somewhere. It is the tribes ascended. And
Aha. It could be, but
I think that's what I'm thinking about. I think it's tribes. I think it's tribes. Yeah, it's tribes. This would have been a
is it?
while ago. Yeah, you could run and sort of like glide on the ground and then jump
Aha.
high.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, this would have been a
Uh,
long time ago.
yes, 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 yes. Okay, yeah, there we go. Now I know. Now
We
I
would
know.
have
Yep.
played this back in the cave days, you know.
Most likely.
But yeah, that's what
Yeah.
PlanetSide reminds me of that. The visuals, but like a modern version of that. So,
Yeah, yeah.
um, yeah, that's why I went to. But I guess it's yeah, different games, but
Yep.
similar art direction, I guess. Right. I think do we have a show, Raj?
Yeah, we have a show.
Okay, cool.
It's been great.
It
Well,
has
that's
definitely
not
been.
for us to decide, I guess, but I hope you guys have been enjoying. We've had a good time. It's been very inspirational, I have to say. Some interesting discussions also, as often.
Definitely.
With that said, take care now. Have a good week and stay healthy and all that beautiful stuff. And hopefully, you have enjoyed some of the tips we have been giving you. They are top notch quality. So take a look at them. And with that, talk to you soon again. Muffin and out.
Mm. Beautiful as always. So with that, guys, as always, you can find Roger at 40 Splish Press number 40 with SPLISH. He streams on a Tuesday and a Sunday. That's correct.
That is correct.
You can find me at LP Guardian, that's LPGRDIN, Guardians of you, pretty much everywhere else. You can find us at Simply Binge or at Simply Binge UK. And as always, we wouldn't like you guys to miss out on any of the episodes of That Beautiful Life podcast. Many beautiful people like to subscribe to this podcast on Castbox, Acast, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, SimplyBinge.com, and elsewhere. And we're so confident that you're going to like it that we're giving it for free. So, as always, guys, this is Cued. The wrap. That's the episode. We are out of this piece. Le Blair.
Yep.
You know something weird, Raj? Dead by Daylight has mostly negative right now. Recent reviews.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
they've done something.
I have heard. I mean, you know, Sandro, right?
Yeah, I know Sandro.
Who's been following me for quite some time. He talked about Dead by Daylight just about one. No, it was more. It was before Christmas. But anywho, he mentioned about certain things like new killer and whatnot that wasn't really that great. I think.
It sounds like
Uh,
something else as well because I'm seeing a review
oh,
here from it. Maybe that as well. That could be something, but also there's a review from January that says you know the game has been scamming players by having skins region locked, but still having them available to purchase in those regions, and then refusing to give players
what?
refunds when they can't use said skins. Do not give them any money. So I don't know what
What?
that is, but they
This
need to sort that out because that is
this
stupid.
sounds like a fairly new bad
Yeah,
problem.
sounds like a bad like a new bad problem. There's also someone else saying that you get a 24-hour ban if you leave 3 games, lifetime
Uh-huh.
ban on Steam community forums for saying the mods in the community are a joke, and so are the devs. Queue times are about 5 minutes, low 10 minutes on the high end. They pump out cosmetics and broken perks. That's like the blah blah blah. There's a whole stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
I hear you. Okay,
hope
I'm gonna read a bit more
we've
about it
been
later.
fans of
Yeah.
Dead by Daylight for a while. I looked at this when you mentioned Planetside because you were talking about a long running game that you go back to,
Yeah.
and I was like,
Yeah.
we always go back to this. And the first thing I saw
Exactly.
was mostly negative, so I wanted to know why. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Sorry
it's kind
to
of
hear
sad
that.
to see that Dead by Daylight is not doing so good. They need to
Mm,
step it up, man. Come on, we always talk so great about you guys. Come on, make us look good.
exactly. Great Bob. Yeah.
So yeah, with that, I think
Okay.
yeah, that's it. I think I think we just sort of like just wander off screen slowly and go on my chair slowly, I
And then disappears like I would like to see that.
guess. This is as low as it goes. Um, woo. So yeah, let's get out of here.